In Hillbilly Elegy, a memoir of a family and culture in crisis, J.D. Vance writes about the difficult life of the working class in post-industrial U.S. However, the memoir is actually a testament to the goodness that will always come out from most difficult situations. In J.D.'s case, an economically deprived life as a child in Ohio to a graduate of Yale Law School. J.D. comes from a family of immigrants. His ancestors were among the thousands of Irish immigrants who came to the U.S. at the close of the 18th century to escape the creeping poverty in their native Ireland, only to end up eking subsistence existence as workers in plantations, mills, factories, and mines. Most have settled in the mountainous Appalachian region, where life became even more challenging with the decline of the manufacturing industry. Eventually, they would be derogatorily referred to as hillbillies, rednecks, or white trash. While J.D. was born in Ohio, he considers Jackson, Kentucky, the heart of the coal mining industry where his grandparents lived, as his true home. He spent the wonder years of his childhood there until he was 12. Additionally, he basked in the glory of, to his young mind, the relatively high status of his grandparents in the community. A grandfather who was the unrivaled mechanic for miles around, and a grandmother locally famous for her true grit. She shot a man who tried to run away with the family cow when she was just a little girl. J.D.'s grandparents, whom he called Mama and Papa, were married in a shotgun wedding as Mama at 14 was already pregnant. After the wedding, they joined the great migration of workers to industrialized cities for the much sought-after factory jobs. Papa and Mama decided to settle down in Middletown, Ohio, where Papa worked at Armco, a steel company. Their firstborn died, but 3 kids came later: J.D.'s mother, Bev, and her siblings, Jimmy and Lori. Life was difficult, which led Papa to seek refuge in alcohol, while Mama coped with hoarding garbage. There were frequent fights, and things came to a head when Mama tried to kill a dead drunk Papa by setting him on fire. Luckily, he was rescued, and a greatly shaken but permanently sober Papa emerged from the incident. Bev married at 18, already pregnant with Lindsay, J.D.'s older stepsister. J.D. came in 1984. At a very young age, he was given up for adoption by his biological father, and Bob Hamill, Bev's second husband, became his adoptive parent. Life, particularly with Bev, was an emotional roller coaster ride. J.D. sought normalcy in his grandparents, whom he went to see daily. Later, J.D.'s parents relocated to another county a few miles from Middletown. J.D. was 11 when Bev deliberately crashed her car, apparently a suicide attempt. After the incident, Bev left Bob, and she and J.D. returned to Middletown. However, things got worse. Bev was turning into an alcoholic, and on one occasion, while driving, this time with J.D., she again tried to crash the car. Bev was arrested, but during the case hearing, J.D. did not tell on his mom, obediently following his grandparents' request not to, since it would mean Bev going to jail. On Bev's part, the deal was for J.D. to stay with his grandparents for good. Not much later, J.D. tried to reconnect with his biological father. The Don Bowman he met was now a staunch evangelical Christian. J.D. realized he preferred the simple religiosity of his grandparents to the homophobic and restrictive, it prohibited mainstream music, brand of Don's religion. J.D. was 13 when he lost Papa, the only father figure he had known, and the best one at that. It was equally hard for Bev, whose substance abuse worsened, this time turning to narcotic pain medication, which she could easily access as she worked as a hospital nurse. As a result, Bev had to go to rehab, leaving J.D. and Lindsay in the house to fend on their own.